There are 9 million empty houses in Japan right now. 9 million. That's roughly 1 in every 7 homes in the entire country, just sitting there, empty. And that number has doubled since 1993. And some of them are for sale, for almost nothing. So, what's wrong with them? These houses are called Akiya, empty houses. Not every Akiya is some abandoned horror movie set. A lot of them are just normal houses between owners, listed, waiting, nothing unusual. But 3.85 million of them are actually abandoned. Nobody's living there, nobody's trying to sell, nobody's even checking on them. Just left. And it's not spread evenly. In Wakayama and Tokushima, the vacancy rate is roughly 21%, more than 1 house in every 5. And the prices on some of these houses get genuinely strange. Too many of them tens of thousands of dollars, often thousands, sometimes technically free. A free house in the same country that has some of the most expensive real estate market on earth. So, how does this happen? First thing, Japan's population is shrinking, and small towns are hit hardest. Grandma's house in the mountains outlives grandma. Her kids are already in Tokyo. Nobody's coming back for it. So the house just waits for a buyer who in a lot of these towns isn't coming. The jobs left first, then the schools, then the hospitals. Everything that keeps a town livable. The houses were just the last thing standing. The other thing, and this one is a bit weirder, is that in Japan, a house isn't treated as an investment the way it is in most other places. In the UK, around 89% of homes sold are second-hand. In the US, it's about 80%. In Japan, it's roughly 15%. Almost nobody buys used. A house gets built, lived in, and eventually torn down. Part of that is because on average Japanese houses officially depreciate to almost nothing in about 22 years. Not as a rough estimate, as an official tax category. A perfectly livable 30-year-old wooden house is, on paper, worth very little. What you're actually buying is the land underneath it. And in a small town that's been losing people for decades, even the land isn't worth much. That's how a house ends up listed for 300,000 yen, and it's why a structurally similar house 1 hour from central Tokyo costs 10 or 20 times more. Same age, same size, very different land. So, why not just tear the bad ones down? Here it actually gets kind of absurd. Property tax on land with a house on it, any house, even one that's basically falling apart, gets a reduction of up to 1/6 of its taxable value. Tear the house down, and that goes away. And then there is demolition itself. Knocking down even a small wooden house costs somewhere between 1 and 1.5 million yen. If the land isn't worth much to begin with, that's money you will never see back. So, demolishing your own dangerous, collapsing house doesn't just cost money upfront, it cancels the tax break. And for a lot of owners, the numbers simply don't work. So, what does a rational owner do? They leave it. The house stays exactly where it is, quietly falling apart, on purpose. So, the system that was supposed to solve empty house problem is part of what's keeping it going. Okay, the part everyone actually wants to know. Can you just buy one? Yes, more than 1,000 of Japan's municipalities, out of about 1,700, have their own listings called an Akiya bank. The prices are real. Common prices are around tens of thousands of dollars, and it is possible to find even under 1,000. Here is the catch though. It was cheap because nobody else wanted the work that comes with it. Renovation on a typical Akiya runs somewhere between 5 and 10 million yen. Don't forget to add closing costs, which add another 6 to 8%. And Japanese banks mostly won't finance an old rural property, so assume cash. And some of them have a problem money can't actually fix. In Japan, if you ever want to rebuild on a piece of land, It needs proper road access. At least 2 meters of frontage into a road that's at least 4 meters wide. A lot of Akiya don't have that. There are whole parts of old Japan, tight lanes, narrow countryside tracks, old city alleys, where the plots are perfectly legal to own, but legally impossible to rebuild on. You can live in whatever's standing there now until it falls down. After that, the land is yours, but you can't put anything new on it. Banks are very aware of this. They won't touch it, so if you find a listing that's genuinely free, that's usually why. To be fair, a lot of towns do help with the renovation side. Grants range from a few 100,000 yen up to a couple of million, sometimes covering 30 to 80% of the cost, but you won't find that in the listing description. So the real price was never the number on the listing. It's the number plus the renovation plus closing costs minus whatever the town will chip in. And this isn't just a countryside problem. Tokyo, one of the most expensive real estate markets in the world, has around 900,000 empty homes of its own, about 1 in 10. Same quiet mass applies even there. And according to Nomura Research Institute, it's not getting better. The vacancy rate is on track to hit about 25% by 2043. 1 in 4 homes in Japan. Empty. One question before you go. Would you do it? Buy an Akiya, do renovation, maybe deal with the road issue. Maybe the cash only thing. Drop it in the comment. I'm genuinely curious. Another time. What a month in Tokyo actually costs. Rent, trains, food, all of it. With numbers. If you want to know what Japan really costs and why, subscribe. See you in the next one.